Welcome to Tank Basics. In this small series I'll cover the fundamentals of tank gameplay. We'll start with the most important controls and settings. This covers some controls that won't become necessary until more modern vehicles, but they're nice to have said nonetheless. First, we go into options and go to ground vehicle battle settings. Disable grass and tank sight to make it easier to shoot and spot enemies using your sight and binoculars. And enable show compass in third person view, as this greatly enables your ability to give information to your allies in battle. Now, as you can see, I have a compass on the top of my screen, following a simple 360-degree circle with north, west, south, and east all marked. And that's a funky way of saying it, but it works. This allows you to simply just say enemy at 125 from my position. Additionally, no grass in the tank sight, making the entire profile of the vehicle visible, and same goes for the binoculars. Next up we go to controls, common, and bind a key for set target for squadron. This allows you to mark a point where you're looking, which makes it much easier to point out single enemies to your squad mates. Following that, we get to the fun part, where we need to bind hull aiming mode, as there is a few vehicles that need this function to actually work properly. Hull aiming is what allows certain vehicles, such as the STRV 103s, to effectively use their guns, as it essentially turns the entire tank into the turret. And simply just controlled by the mouse. I highly recommend binding secondary guns to a different key than main caliber guns, as you can use the fact that you have two guns to trick your enemies. Personally, I like not having keybind combinations to use the radar on ground vehicles, so I have set mine to just single keys. Additionally, night vision and the infrared spotlight on N and B, or anywhere else you have somewhat quick access to them without getting too far away from your controls. And finally, the range finding. I recommend setting this to the same as your set target for squad. Radar is most commonly found on SPAA, and on rare occasions some of the tank destroyers have them as well. With the radar off, most SPAA have a much lower profile as the radar falls down. Turning it back on will permit you to more easily find aircraft, and tracking said aircraft is simply just a matter of finding them, usually easier done in third person, and using your target tracking key, which gives you a vectoric direction of the current speed and trajectory. When turning, you need to correct a little to actually hit aircraft, which I'm failing at. There we go. And simply just T again to turn it off, and you are free to engage another target. Targeting only works in the scoped view, however, and you will automatically track the rough estimate of where the aircraft is going once you are locked on. mission equipment is only really useful at night, making it much easier to see anything. This works in various different views depending on the vehicle. Some only have for the gunner, some only have for the driver, and so forth and so on. Additionally, a lot of the modern vehicles have thermals as a bare minimum for the gunner, in some cases also for the commander. The rangefinder, plain and simply, just tells you how far there is to the target, although manual rangefinding as done in lowered BR vehicles do have a range limitation depending on crew skill and will not always be accurate. Now, on occasion, Gaijin resets all controls on updates, so in order to save your customized controls, simply just export to file and save them anywhere other than your War Thunder games folder.